Hello, everyone. Are we recording? Can people hear us? I hope so. Hello, chat. Can anyone give me a hello, a hey, a whoop or something? Yeah, whoop? Tell you what, whoop. Whoop is the code name. If I see a whoop in the chat, I know it's working. Oh, that's a lag. Ooh. That's a big lag. Can I get a whoop from anyone at all? Just one. I saw a whoop. That's fine. I saw a whoop. Okay, one person can see us, so it's fine. Hello, everyone. So I'm probably going to introduce myself. That might be a good idea, and then I'll start rushing through what we're doing.
I would be just so surprised if people were watching this particular event and were like, "Oh, who are these people?
Who is that? What's happening? How did I get here?" So, Alexander J. Newell, I'm going to be your host today, hosting a show that I host, which is an interesting one. And who else do I have with me? Come on. Yep. Can we do it without Bryn and still get the order right?
Yeah. Ben, you have to go first. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ben Meredith.
Lydia Nicholas and Helen Gould.
And who are you playing in this episode that we'll be listening to?
Chris Uptrick Amsterdam.
So yeah! Asking Racket.
Oh, blast from the past. I forgot.
Yeah. And Azu, as always, because I kept my character alive.
Well, I kept a character alive, as did Liz, so, you know.
Ben, chat would like you to know that this they're asking if this is the right time to jump onto the series, since that's something that you care quite a lot about.
Yeah, I think so, actually. Just listen to this episode and none of the others.
On its own, in isolation. So, we're going to be doing a listen along today. Also, we are testing various things simultaneously, which historically always goes well.
So many bodge jobs.
So yeah, we will be doing our best to try and keep everything working correctly, but this is going to be a useful little pilot for us on a bunch of other things. And what we are going to be doing is we're going to be listening to, I believe, episode 100. I must confess, I've deliberately not done a re-listen. I believe it's the one with lads and or blokes.
There are lads and or blokes.
Historically, if it's an episode 100 and it's canonical, it's full of nonsense, like as an RQ rule. So
you just said if it's an episode.
Well,
there's several points in it, I think, where we swear and howl at the moon at your craft.
Oh, nice. Well, that bodes well. So, chat, what is going to be happening is we are going to be maybe doing some minimal chat whilst doing a listen along. I control the volume slider. However, I'm not even going to pretend that we're all slick and professional. So, everyone of the cast, when I tell you, please do click play at your end, because we've been reduced to that.
Like rabbit.io or something.
Yeah, it didn't work as well as we'd hoped.
Do we have to mute ourselves? Because then you'll hear it from all of our mics.
Well, that's why I've got headphones.
Yeah. Are you going to be playing it from your phone? Yeah.
You might want to mute yourself, Lyd. I don't know. Depends how good your noise cancelling is. It's good to find out at this stage. Thanks.
I just thought that you were going to mute us all, and then I'm confused.
No, but the problem.
I can play it from the computer.
The problem is if I have to mute you, I'm fine to shatter this illusion. Oh, Alex, can you do a minor adjustment in Skype? Yep, not a problem. Give me a second to just. And then
I genuinely thought it would be better to play it from my phone, because then there's less chance of technical hiccups. But
I mean, you could play the game of just guessing where we've gotten to. It's very much up to you, Lyd.
Just reacting to
I did read the wiki, so
cheating.
I read the wiki.
Yeah,
it was recommended in the call sheet. They were like, "Oh, if you want to read the wiki,
don't do what's recommended." Yeah. Come on, sheeple.
How do people keep track of their lives if they don't have fans making a wiki with transcripts and or plot points of key things that you did? Honestly, I have no idea what the rest of the stuff I was doing over the last 7 years was.
You've just suddenly given me how comforting would it be to be able to consult a wiki of you? Like your wiki.
Alex.
Not your show, like your life. That'd be very helpful.
That's called a diary.
I was going to say it's called a brain.
I have none of these things, so I'm lost at sea. Right. So we're going to do our best. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to try and minimise pauses during, because trying to sync us all back up is going to be a nightmare. So if I end up having to mute us for a little while, sorry, this is as good as I can get it at this stage. So without further ado...
Wait. I've got to move the monitors that you're on, because I'm doing this.
Without further ado, everyone now faff.
What I will say is that I'll be very surprised if any of you have not heard this episode.
It's a good one.
And are going to be surprised by what's in it. But just a reminder, there's going to be physical violence and injury, some discussion of, mind control, references to a medical procedure, even if it is magical, and, some discussion of scarring. But that's off the top of my head, and I'm trusting that you already know what's happening.
Oh, if we're getting, apparently we're getting some echo now through the system. The noise cancelling's not working, so I'm going to swap to headphones. Thank you for letting me know, chat. Can I get someone on Skype to say test 1, test 2?
Test 1, test 2.
Ooh, wow. Ooh. Well, then there'll be echo if we're all saying it, won't there?
Okay, chat. Can I get a whoop if I've managed to fix our echoes problem?
I like this whoop system.
Oh, whoop's a really helpful word.
I just enjoy the. Oh,
we have whoop.
You got to use headphones for that. Oh, I guess I'll use my headphones, I suppose.
Well, I didn't want to. I like being different. Okay. Can I ask everyone to begin your faff that we can be ready to listen?
Okay. Yeah. I got the hand over the button.
Yeah, yes. I'm ready.
Now, audience, we will use the whoop system, which is when I am clicking play, you can all feedback on volume levels, and then when I think it's settled, I'll ask if people can hear, and if I hear a whoop, then I know. Okay, everyone ready?
Yeah.
Everyone adopted the clicking on guard position. Should we do it? Should we do it sync clap style? Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone. Alex here.
Oh,
I'd just like to take a moment to thank some of our patrons.
Taking a moment.
Yeah.
Amanda Gracier, Scott Shin, Chainsaw Hunter, Rodder Prime, Morgan Fitzmaurice, Alex Weltlinger, Jeanette Arstrand, Sazan Dorable,
I can't
Erica
hear
Greitzer,
it. Like, it's playing, but...
Jay Yanuzelli.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you all. We really appreciate your support. If you'd like to join them, go to www.patreon.com.
I'm so soft-spoken in the earlier episodes.
Take a look at our rewards.
You're so calm when you're reading the Patreon names.
Hang on,
I don't think I've ever been that calm.
I can't hear it. Like, I've got it playing. It's playing, but it's not... Oh.
You might have to resort to phone and then mute and then unmute for specific moments. Let me know if you need a timestamp.
Because Lynn's going to be out sync.
Hello and welcome to episode 100 of the Rusty Quill Gaming podcast.
Say what?
Okay, this is going to get so confusing. Because we all sound like ourselves. Damn it!
Bryn Monroe.
Lydia Nicholas.
And Helen Gould.
We've spent more time in here than I think I've spent outdoors in total. How are we doing on the volume, chat?
Yeah. That's only this studio, or the other 4 before.
Oh, you used the word studio for the ones before now. That's adorable.
Wait, we just transitioned to...
And who are you all playing?
Recording?
I think we just transitioned to this studio I'm sat in.
Oh.
That's Sasha Rackets. By now you might have figured it out.
Either that or I was doing a heck of a job on the sound cleanup. Like amazing.
I spend my time being sad at our terrible audio quality.
Which
is
we
tried very hard.
Already
but also...
TPK.
Yeah! Celebration! Here's a balloon!
It's really pushing the boat out, but I think that we're really going to get on the map with this episode.
Thanks for this treat, Alex. So does that mean that we just get to rest while you describe what happens to us?
So basically,
God,
what
imagine
we'll do
Alex
is
allowing
we'll
us
sit
to
here
rest.
quietly. We're going to call the episode Long Rest.
That methodology right now,
and then
we won't say anything and
awake
just let Alex provide the commentary.
Yay, like that 7 minutes
and
of
completely
silence.
new characters.
But what? Wait,
No.
So,
I've just made this character.
Do we always talk this fast?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you've had it for ages now. It's like
doesn't-
15 whole episodes or something. That's
Really?
forever.
15 sessions is that's quite a decent campaign.
and given how dense it's been, that it has worked out as about 15 hours that you've been Azu. Now I think about it in game time.
Just bring
Confession
back,
time. I don't think I've ever
like,
listened
I
to
don't
an
know,
episode
Zazu.
all the way through without editing it.
I mean,
All
that's
the way
long.
to
Yeah.
Dealing with Zazu, who is a bird.
I don't think I've ever listened to an episode
Special.
while not
We've
like
got Rowan
also
Atkinson.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't listen
Oh
to an
my
episode
God,
and critique your own performance and take notes.
As a minor recap, I believe you were all transporting the heart of
do.
Aphrodite
Yes.
to...
That would
The
explain
most
a lot
powerful
about
object in
the progression
world
of your
that
career.
was super
Yeah.
important that we'd not let it fall into the wrong hands. That one.
But yeah, the one
That
they
we
just
got
gave
from
us.
a dragon.
They gave us a coach with like 4 guys, and we're like, yeah, off you go.
I'm going to lower the volume a little bit
It
for
was
you,
an
chat.
armoured coach, I think.
with 4 guys.
Well, plus you lot.
And us.
Can I get a whoop if that's okay?
Good at this.
I can go lower. I mean,
Don't know
technically
about-
speaking, you're approaching the best the
no,
world
sorry.
has to offer. Take a moment and consider that.
Look,
Dear.
Demonstrably, that is not the case.
And yeah, you may have gotten a bit ambushed by. We had a technical term for them, and I cannot remember what it was.
Don't say thanks. I need a whoop.
That's it. Yes.
Blokes.
Loads of blokes.
Loads of blokes.
And all lads.
Yeah, it was interspersed with
Best
some lads, but
recurring gag.
nonetheless, the lad-bloke
lads.
combo managed to just 1-2 punch you guys all to the ground.
Oh gosh, we were opening basically with a TPK, weren't we?
Yeah, we got brutalised.
Yeah, this is we're halfway through the fight.
Have you even been listening to this episode right now?
Tech is hard.
You're like, I've never listened to an episode and I don't intend to.
You're being overwhelmed by lads and blokes. You're just in their club. You're like, oh, so many lads and blokes here. I need to. Oh.
They're all in suits and top hats. Take the gentleman.
God, we're funny.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to add to this, isn't it? How do you build on perfection?
The thing I'm really terrified of, because the suits and top hats, I thought making a Kung Fu Hustle joke, and then I was like, did I make a Kung Fu Hustle joke then? And then I say it now, and then I say it a minute later, and I'm like, I don't want to do that.
I do that when I'm editing all the time. I'm like, oh, that's a funny joke. I should have said, oh, there it is. Never mind.
Yeah.
14.
I am just an algorithm.
For me, it's like I always laugh at the exact same points that I laugh.
Just so you know, that first one was actually 10 because I have 9 in total.
I'll put a 0 in brackets on that side.
28 for my second one.
28 figures up.
18 for my second
more
one.
of this chat.
You can tell that we weren't
15,
remote recording because of the old battle mat dice roll.
The thudders.
Do miss.
Worst.
Yeah, my first one was terrible, so you know I'll have a slight level.
Remember when we saw people in
I know.
physical
Okay.
presence?
I remember when I saw you sometimes.
I mean,
What would you like your new character to be? Okay, right. So,
already
first,
got 2.
oh yeah, I'll just dip into your massive backlog of characters. Shall we?
Zol's coming
Little
back.
did we
We
know.
have been making the same jokes for years, haven't
Yeah.
we? Like goddamn years.
Yeah, I was getting there.
Yeah,
Right.
no, you won't.
Hello, Grizzop. You're right.
I'm so here for this episode.
So, Grizzop, you awake.
And you never got that little
You
lid.
awake
You
to
never got that.
basically.
Apologies, chat. The
pandemonium.
pause to talk won't work for us because it'll
have
muck
no
things up. So
idea
we're
at
just gonna
this
have to
stage.
pick our moments.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. Oh, nat 20.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
So,
You work out the entire situation instantly.
longitude and latitude is. So, you awake immediately surrounded by other people's feet. And
I deduced I'm on the floor.
yeah, shocker. Quickly you stand and have a look, and you find yourself smack in the middle of a pitched battle between
Oh, sorry.
the
Who added
Aphrodite
soundscapes
lots
to
that Aldu
this?
saw on their way.
That's a bit
and
extra.
What seem to be the remnants of both blokes and or lads.
Someone that's a bit hung up on
The
quality,
battle
I
appears to have
think.
turned in your favour. However, no one's
Atmosphere.
paying attention to you, and it's literally a pitched battle in the middle.
I love
of
that we
Cairo.
started with that as
do I have my
USP
bow?
and only kind of got
Your
like
bow
better,
is
and the
basically
soundscaping
you
towards
can
the
pick
end
it
is
up, yes.
I'm
just
gonna pick it up.
ridiculous.
and-
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
once I
focus
remove
on
myself from the
shooting
system.
lads and
Oh.
or blokes looking
Yeah,
for the
once
rest of
Tessa
the
was
party.
doing it,
That's
it was
fine. Give me a perception check.
That is an 18.
It's almost like it's a bit tricky to GM a game, run a company, edit a show, and soundscape it.
You
Bit
come
much.
to
like that.
Sounds easy to me.
Oh, you got an 18 in perception check, and we were all like, "Oh, that's a pretty good roll. This is a lot."
Yeah, with all the rolls below 20.
Do you have a hat on?
I also,
place your bets.
That
I
cracked
also
me
roll a
up.
natural 20.
I see chat asking for a little bit lower volume, so I'm tweaking.
You roll onto your back
Oh, good.
and find yourself surrounded by blokes and or lads. They are currently basically just all over, and they seem to be patting you down, as if looking for something. Shock.
Oh god, I know what's happening
You hear
here.
the sounds of pitched battle all around.
So
you.
spoilers for
You have
anyone
one round
who
before I jump onto
Oh,
the players.
come on.
hasn't seen the series. This is the moment that they're nicking all of the chunks of body parts from you, like snips of hair and stuff that allowed later tracking.
Yes.
I
Yes.
patted myself down.
So whilst being patted down
Yeah,
by
this is
all
where we
of
got
the
biopsy.
I don't notice my hands at all.
It's a pat race.
So I was getting you to do will saves prior to this, Lydia, to be like, oh, if you had a bad dream, whatever, so that when I started doing will saves for this,
This is going to be a terrible
you would not clock it as a new thing that's come in.
Jelly baby.
You successfully managed to pat yourself down in such a way that
I also enjoyed the image with all the lads and blokes patting Azu down, but they're all just like
really quite poorly.
But that's why the lads and blokes, they had 2 missions, which was get the Heart of Aphrodite
and do a bit of light percussion
and do the light percussion, yeah. And it was basically if they couldn't get the heart, there's a reason that they didn't all just immediately kill you.
But Alex, they were all killed afterwards. So how did they get the tracking stuff everywhere else?
I think that we did have a biggest
right.
I mean, you were against hundreds of lads and or blokes.
Buried in a shop window.
Also, we did leave all just the bodies on the ground, so we were like, bit of hair in a pocket, came back later,
bless
picked it up.
chat I hope they roll well and get out of this.
There are just hats everywhere.
No, I think
you're
they're
covered in
doomed.
hats. That's currently a thing. There is
I
a
can't see this
massive
ending
pitch
well.
battle happening about 50 feet, 50 yards, whatever, away from you, just laid out in front of you.
Cool.
Oh yeah,
Bryn's
sat in the haberdashery. Sorry, Hamid's sat in the haberdashery at the moment.
Sat in, thrown into.
Stylish. I just love the idea of what happened.
Also, you all are right. I've had a good long look at myself after these episodes. I do have a thing about hats, don't I?
Is there an area in the battle where there are only enemies and no
Fancy
allies?
hat.
Here's the fireball.
You cannot tell. There is a very clear,
He's got to be careful using those. He might pop.
Chasing off the blokes and all lads.
Can I see anyone else from the party?
Give me a perception.
50 feet and 50 meters are very, very different, chat. You are correct.
Yes. You see Grizzop.
There's a lot of layers to running a game and a lot of ignorance at my end.
Just going to town.
I cast magic missile.
Okay.
Grizzop?
Finally, my opportunity.
One missile each at 3 people.
I really have tried to kill all of your characters consistently, Ben.
Yeah.
You only succeeded once, and to be fair, he kind of he made that decision.
And as you're sort of drawing your bow for a shot, the person that you're aiming at...
I genuinely thought that more characters would actually die.
So did I.
The other one keels over, and then the third one...
What's really awkward is,
still standing,
historically, I rolled horrendously for NPCs who kept dropping like flies, and rolled really good for you guys, in a way that was quite frustrating, and realistically, I should have just plotted NPCs instead of relied on the dice.
This one person, however.
Yes.
Bit of chaos.
Where's 26?
Good for a story.
Has Grizzop accidentally almost killed a civilian at this point?
Lad bloke is down.
No.
Wait.
With the knees?
Yes.
That's in Egypt.
Well, we're in Cairo right now.
Yeah, that was before. Yeah.
Awful.
I tip my
That was always run off for a
Yes, because
soul.
we're solving the undeath problem, and that was when she was being very sad about it.
Yeah, we'd already had a little stack of paladins.
Absolutely beaten up, woken up,
Got
and
about
beaten
that.
up again. You look awful.
That's a good point. We were sort of dragged off. Do I still have the 4 hit points that I had when I sort of went down?
Oh, Ben, that's so you. I must immediately clarify hit points.
I mean, yeah, it's quite important. We're playing a...
What a fight!
Live as few dare to dream. Do an Azu. Hurl yourself into the fray with no thought as to tactics or survivability.
Sasha.
Good noises going on.
Worked out for
What
her.
I do is I just yell and then get knocked out.
Give me a perception.
So I do wake up.
Did I say that?
Well, she can't roll a reception check if she's not awake.
You were in the land of the dead.
I'm such a dick.
So you see only
I'm such a dick, aren't I?
You listen to yourself now. This is like what it's like having you as a player.
Yeah.
you come to the sword and spear points of 3 Aphrodite paladins, all basically
Oh, yeah, I
guarding you
remember
with
this.
weapons pointed at your face.
It's the lot of them. Don't worry, I've checked. We are allowed to swear. Expletive.
although Skype is doing its best to censor.
Is focus on you for a bit, Azu.
Good
If
luck,
I may,
Skype.
due to the fact that you have the heart. Spoilers.
Yeah, right, go on then, fine.
Azu. Yes. You are currently surrounded by people, and you are the furthest from the Aphrodite lot. You have realised you do have the heart of Aphrodite. Good. It is, I believe you placed it upon your neck and buried beneath your armour.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's almost like they don't.
Can you imagine if Alex had been like, "Nah, fucked it, it's gone.
Like,
sorry."
You
have betrayed your god.
As it is, I'll be honest. This is on a personal level, not a professional level, Helen. I really wanted you in control of Azu to fail Aphrodite. Like, I really wanted you to. And you never did, not once.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Really wanted you to.
You did make Azu feel that she failed.
Oh yeah, I had to cheat. I had to cheat to do it.
There's still people around.
There's still people around.
Very mean.
Yes, I'm going to intimidate the Patters.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I've got a 7 in intimidate. Well, that's an 8.
It's almost like
that was a natural one.
It's almost like lying on your back.
Some of them gain confidence.
See, I think the energy when we're all in the same room is way more comedic, and I think that genuinely we steer way more towards the dramatic when we're in the remote side of things. And I don't think it was just subject matter. I really do think there was a different energy to it.
I think there's so many factors it's hard to pull it apart, because also as the story felt higher stakes and we felt less like chaotic amateurs, like the characters felt less like chaotic amateurs.
Also, after the year and a half, it just became like, this is just us fucking goofing around, be like, oh, what's the simulacrum doing? Not the world has ended.
Well, you had a little ending. You did turn off like all tech at this point.
Yeah, well, I already had my existential crisis about that, so
that's true. I never managed to get more than one at once.
Based on your decks.
I've got bad decks. You never thought you'd need it. You were wrong. Hamid, you're up. Basically, the fight is unfolding. You have managed to sort of help Grizzop out.
Grizzop seems fine. Can I see Sasha or Azu?
Sasha you cannot see. Azu you cannot see. Grizzop's currently the only one that you can see. But you do have a clear memory of basically the carriage being overwhelmed, and you have a solid guess that Azu is somewhere amongst the enemy rather than friends.
I'll tell you what.
Poor overwhelmed carriage. There's just a lot going on, and that carriage does not have coping mechanisms for it.
I'll tell you what, listening to a podcast, it's really difficult to figure out what anyone's doing, innit? I don't know what people see in this thing.
I think it's a doomed medium.
Gained by the Aphrodite lot?
I would like to scamper through the crowd and try and climb back up on the carriage.
When Hamid scampers.
Rather than having to deal with all this other nonsense, because no one's really paying
This is a bit where I admit that I always listen to podcasts slowed down. Like, other people seem to speed them up, and I'm like, how do you order through process?
So I went through a phase of trying to train myself to speed listen the way you do speed read. So I picked the driest, most non-fiction factual stuff possible and tried to do a Neo I know Kung Fu now by just listening to things at like 5 times speed.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can.
But do you want to?
No.
Maybe you can do
Give me a
it.
perception check, and then I will say what you see at the start.
Again, yeah.
15 again.
15? Okay, great. In which case then, Grizzop, you're up. You, for free, you see Hamid climb up on top of the carriage. Like, he's there and appear around.
Cool.
Chat are right. I don't think any carriage survived the campaign.
No, the guy that drops us off at the factory, he goes back down the hill.
Want me to lay on hands first?
Cool.
We don't survive in the carriage, but he has a
Good point.
The carriage survives.
Let me rephrase. Have we ever had a successful carriage journey?
Cool. If I was 15, I'm not, and I gained.
Technically, they're not carriages, but the old French lady.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about them. They were good fun.
She wanted to. That was her, like, you know.
Defensively. I don't know.
All right. Well, Zolf had a successful.
Like acrobatics check.
If you sacrifice your stab
Yeah, that one. The one we crashed.
There's something called.
Yes, chat. We all admit that at no point did Hamid ever cause carriage problems. Not once.
With this because the pitched back.
Very considerate little halfling.
Wonky in Pathfinder.
I would like to.
I mean, we all say he's considerate. He did also
tell me what you want. You are
point blank set fire to a guy back in Paris. Let's not
Can you do me a
forget.
favour? Tell me.
Yeah.
Just
what your intent is. Is it just go around randomly in the hopes of finding?
Sort of.
It's rare that Sasha, I think, stands in places and realises that they're the moral centre of it.
You can see 2 clumps.
Yeah, I did start to realise with Sasha that all I had to do is just put you in increasing numbers of decision-making capacity. Just didn't matter what the decision was, just force Sasha to make all of the decisions all the time and watch you squirm.
12.
Well, it's that, but I mean, specifically in that one, I think there was a whole thing. I can't even remember if we went into it in that much depth, but I remember it being like, but he's just doing his job. Like, I've just done my job. Why are you so mean?
You managed to basically attract the attention of a bunch of people.
They're an interesting array of moral perspectives as a group,
I
suppose. You
have a following in the bad way. You have a bad following.
A bouquet
But, yeah, you
of
find
ethics.
yourself basically catching up and right beside Azu, unconscious, as yet more blokes and lads are basically like taking her weapons, trying to take her armor, and just effectively stripping her down until they find the heart of Aphrodite.
Okay, cool. Well, that's my action.
Yep, Sasha.
Oh dear.
You are up, surrounded by Aphrodite lot.
Yeah, I admit I was very cheeky in this one. All I needed was the whole, they're stripping Azu down to look for the heart. That was how I was justifying, that's how they're nicking. So I just needed a lock of hair from one person was all I needed from this encounter.
Awkwardly.
And I don't know why, it's for my own internal logic.
Want me to stay down?
So it's
just didn't want to tip your hand.
Your turn of just looking up, seeing people going, I'm gonna have to do Hamid's turn again.
Yeah.
I think your strange internal logic is what holds the whole thing together, though. So
with Grizzop running to help, and you also see Sasha is surrounded by friends? Question mark.
Yeah, they're pre to Aphrodite. They're certainly friends.
The battle seems to be very much turning in favor
how you
of the
Paladins love
friends.
Yeah, Paladins love finding Sasha and being like,
nonetheless, currently you have.
I choose to think of it as world coherency, not repetitive storytelling.
It is, and it's fun because you do get to see her character grow in the reactions.
Yeah.
Sasha is our friend! Go and help Azu!
Grow increasingly miserable.
You mean diplomacy, I see.
I was like, the Paladins were like, they brought an undead creature. And we're not going to do anything about them. We're just going to kind of look at them for a bit.
Well, looks vaguely human.
Sorry, boss. Yes, boss.
I'm very persuasive.
Well, also, I mean, you guys do sort of have a reputation. It doesn't come up positively that often because you tend to associate with terrible people. But yeah, they leg it off to help out Azu.
In any way,
I make me laugh.
For being famous.
Yep. So Hamid, you have a single speech turn each. Hamid and Sasha, you've managed to see each other. You're right.
No.
Okay, cool.
That's pretty much the entirety of your relationship as characters.
Well, also, this is probably Sasha at her, most miserable
absolute
ever?
bottom ebb,
At least in the campaign.
Legging it away, apart from one person. Give me a perception check. I'll ask her a lot this turn.
I asked for way too many perception checks in this campaign.
You see, there's a
You fucking love it.
I fucking love a perception check. It's just the best check.
By the way, like, as
I think you just like it when we fail them.
Yeah.
Mostly
I really do.
blokes.
It is also one of those problems with the D20 system where it feels like you need to roll for the characters to do something because the game is very kind of against you just saying, you do this thing. It's like
you notice whatever, and it's like, do I or do I fall on my face?
Yeah, whenever I'm GM. Now is making sure Azu doesn't. I was to say, whenever I'm GMing, I always really struggle with do I make them roll? Have I made them roll enough? I don't know. The numbers.
Oh, the first episodes were the worst for that. Roll to open the door. You failed. Roll to open the door again.
Can I have a...
Helen, you weren't even there, but it literally took us half an episode to open a trapdoor on top of a ladder.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
We had a long conversation afterwards where it's this is not going to be a good show if
Alex
we
got
don't...
told off for bad GMing, and you were right to do so.
Was that the disabled device one in episode 7 where you ended up in the sewer?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Well, you woke up
It was like opening a manhole cover, and you can hear Ben go, "We climb the ladder," and we cut half an hour
I'll
off.
get you. I might do it to you again.
It's one of those things where
because there's
I can't tell if I'm talking over people now because everybody has their own voices.
Yeah.
That leads us flawlessly on to Sasha.
Helen, you were saying something.
By which I mean, it is your turn.
Oh, yeah, I was saying that in Spelt, Sasha and Bertie have an argument over what a tug is.
spears?
Very much no.
Oh,
because Hamid's down the sewer on a rope.
I'll offer you a hand if you want to stand up.
Yes, no, but that I thought that was a good improv game.
It was very funny.
That's not. That's not. That's an intentional rabbit hole. There's a rabbit down there. We're gonna grab it.
As he says to Sasha, you tug like a tiny lady.
You find yourself awake again, with the last memory being
I was
waking
like,
up
I
and then
remember
immediately
that as
sent
like a
back to
moment
sleep.
where, because obviously me and James and Bryn were in the improv group before, but like one of the few times that Sasha and Bertie are having like a non-morally complex kind of chat, so
quite
the
sweet.
comedy in both of them gets to come out. It was great fun.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think. Well,
Goblin.
They just have
they
skin.
don't look like they are.
Great moment.
Okay.
A
Depends
discussion
how much you moisturize, I guess.
Yes.
for another time when
Depends on
Azu
the
might
lifestyle
not be
as
getting
well.
knocked out yet again. How many times were you knocked out in this, Helen?
Just twice.
You can see,
Which is more than usual.
Who are
But this is where you
still
got your
trying
tusk
to
from,
search
right?
you. Your actors
Yes,
being
I
kicked
got
away
my
from you,
my
and
boy
a small
band
Grizzop who's
eyebrow
basically-
scar and broken
loosen
tusk
some of the
from there.
strapping on your armor.
Yeah,
and stuff.
they've maybe gotten like one of your straps has come undone. on
Chat
your
are asking,
armor, and
James
they've,
is
like,
good.
torn one of your sleeves off and stuff. They are
James
just-
basically
they are
wasn't
just
able to
looking
attend
random.
today, and we're doing an episode that didn't have James, but James is still happy, healthy, and hoping to appear in some more stuff going forward.
The times they are a-changing. So, what are you doing?
Really annoyed.
I get that.
Good.
I want to climb to my feet and sort of roar at them to be like,
Intimidate them again.
yeah, basically. I just want to go, empower!
I'm so glad you demonstrated.
Yeah!
I think that's one thing as well that you can hear on the audio is how much acting out of shit that we do when we're in the same room.
I was absolutely going
Like, we had to do retakes where it's like,
Two of them.
Bryn, sit down and get off the table type stuff.
Oh my gosh! You like when Hamid nearly popped. Like I remember, he jumped out of his chair.
The whole table's like,
screamed.
equipment everywhere.
Yeah, and you're like, can we retake that? Because I don't know what the sound will be like. We were like, we'll never capture that again. If it's just a sound mess, that's
The guest
so
is
be
now
it.
stood up and capable of cleaving should they wish.
You're not holding a weapon.
Oh, cleave.
Yeah.
The fact that I said ooh and then I heard myself say ooh.
I'm afraid you would have to go get your weapon, or you could just try and beat someone.
This experience really undermines your belief in free will.
Yeah,
Doesn't
really
it?
does.
Doesn't it?
Meat machines. Crap.
Oh no, I was exposed to exactly the same stimulus and I haven't changed my behaviour in like 3 years. Oh no. I'm not growing as a person, am I? No.
Great. Like, I'm not stupid.
So in the middle of the crowded fight, you lay hands on yourself.
Yeah.
I made that joke so many
I am
times.
not stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's plus 2d6 healing.
Just keep laying hands on yourself.
And you
Just keep laying hands on yourself. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
It's still funny though.
Right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that's 10.
Roll better than me.
Yes, yes it is.
Grumble, grumble. You're not thinking about
Immediately
Paladin.
heal yourself for 10.
Fantastic.
Okay, at this stage, I'm probably going to just drop us all out of initiative order because it's mostly NPCs fighting one another. And
I was going to say, that's Alex's fault. I'm bored of this now. This is boring me.
Figure's face off.
You will do no such thing because they are too busy fleeing from you. So what happens is, the morale of the blokes and or lads. God, I can't believe that stuck.
Boy, did it stick.
Basically breaks.
Is Figures there?
Figures, you don't know because they're all wearing cowls. So they all flee, and
Do you want to know what the stat block of the lads and blokes
all
was,
of
if
the
I remember
Church of
correctly?
Aphrodite are in hot pursuit.
I think I
Not
took
a
the stat
single
block
one
for
of them
like,
stays
Pursuit.
on the street.
I want to say thug in Pathfinder, which is like modified peasant.
Grizzop, you have that sinister figure who stood amongst
It's like
the
a level 2
retreat.
peasant
There's
was
that
the lads and
gloriously
blokes.
wonderful moment where all of the cowled
Turns
figures
out Pathfinder
run
doesn't
in a
like
brief
it if you
moment
have
of
enough
one
people trying to
between
grapple
and
you
the
at the same time.
The figure's
yes.
gone.
Oh, I'm really glad that magic exists in this world, otherwise that would be a really confusing trope.
You're such a dick, Ben.
And, all
You're
of
such a dick.
four of you on the street, surrounded by a significant number of bloke and or lad bodies and a few Aphrodite bodies.
Oh no.
And you just look at one another in the middle of this effectively deserted street and look terrible. Just the worst.
Shall we go to the temple?
Yeah, but best to just walk from here, I think.
Yes, please. Sasha?
Give it a shot.
And I'll take a depressing break there.
Oh, we've got a break. I don't know what the ad break is. Or is it just an ad insert? It might be an ad insert.
And welcome back.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So, we all head to the temple.
Well, I'd be a bit worried if we didn't get we didn't get a Patreon recording. We've got lots of ads.
Everyone give me a force. No. You do make.
Well, I can't. Like, none of us can see the chat because we're not patrons.
You don't need to see chat. Chat just keeps saying Alex is the best over and over again. That's all they're saying. It's fine.
There's been a problem in this system. I've just realised.
Were the blokes in do they look evil, or do they look like townsfolk that got mind control?
Are you taking the time to look?
I mean, Sasha's.
I did really like that about all of you. That all of you were. I'm not lying, chat. How dare you? You all think I'm amazing. I liked that you were all really into checking if it was mind control. You were doing your like hero due diligence. I really personally like that.
I think I have to do some cold-blooded murder in a second, so
I don't remember.
Attempt to.
I think I stopped you.
I think I get a couple.
Where it was placed, covered
Tenets
by
of Artemis,
the half
you know.
removed, lightly dented, but already repairing itself armor, because magic's the best sometimes.
And then I think as we go, I'm going to start like strapping myself back up again. I do not like
eBay condition, like new.
In terms of,
I hope you're wearing clothes under your arms. Different strokes for different folks.
Cold metallic strokes, otherwise.
So when it comes to the Aphrodite lot.
I mean, there's a question. Magic items always comfortable temperature, or do they get? Do they feel hot and cold depending on environment?
I mean, they resize to your body. So
I just always assume they're a comfortable temperature, but I don't. That might be my assumption here. My magic privilege might be showing.
For a magical thing, I think that's fair.
Were only capable of non-lethal damage.
You are right, chat. Magic is the best. Let's just delete it. Yes.
Deal non-lethal damage technically.
Pound.
They clearly didn't have any training, right?
How many Aphrodite people are down?
There's about 10 total who are down.
I'd get 5 of them up.
Well, no, we can do a pyramid scheme.
How many of these people have done this thing? Oh, there's about
that person gets 2
invent, guess, improvise, come up with an arbitrary number. This many.
Bad blokes, are they dead?
Some of them are. Some of them are, but basically unconscious as well.
How many do I get?
There's about 40 of them just lay around the place.
Cool. I'm going to do a quick sweep and finish off any of the...
Oh yeah, cold-blooded murder, Ben, you're right.
Whoa, hey, no,
what?
Mind-controlled townspeople get murdered.
we don't know that. You've made an assumption out of character.
Why are you don't need to kill them. They're down. They're down already.
Actually, Lid,
yes, but they're not posing a threat right now. We need to get into the temple.
Okay, I was gonna get everyone up with.
No, it's consistent with Sasha's character. She's consistently over the course of it. It's like, don't kill people that just doing their jobs.
No.
You don't.
Oh no, I was talking about my reaction in the episode. It's like, oh no, come on, you know, it's like, all right, calm down, mate.
Boy, these paladins are brutaler than I thought.
I mean, fine, okay,
They were all like goody two shoes.
I'll just. All right, fine.
I'll get 5 of them up with individual lay on hands.
How fractionally less efficient. Ugh. Yeah, you immediately...
It's a lot less efficient.
I think we had a long conversation that got cut about how efficient it would be.
Yeah, like we as a
you
group...
don't need to heal all of them, just heal one, and each of them can heal 2, and each of them can heal 2. Yeah.
As a group, we tend to dive into these logistical details quite a lot, and then in the edit, it's just like, we heal them.
Yeah. So there's that bit where you say it's marginally more efficient, but we don't actually discuss how it's...
tying up and collecting up the remains of the blokes and...
I have to say, historically, Lydia, you especially are not one who likes it, the inefficiencies, if you see them.
You were going to execute them. They hadn't even stood a trial or anything.
They tried to murder us. It was a fight. They lost.
According to chat, healing algorithms are crunchy, which presumably is good.
Well, there was some mind
we like crunchy.
Unless it's video, we don't like crunchy video.
We had the whole peanut versus video crunchy smooth debate earlier. Yeah.
Fine, yeah, all right, maybe.
In the middle of an urban, like, post-battle sprawl.
A discussion of morality is what paladins do.
That's what we're about.
My favourite bits for you are always post-battle discussions.
Very pointedly getting
in the whole series, they're always the most interesting bits.
Remind me not
And
to
so tense
Angie
sometimes
you
too.
What? So you're gonna try and murder me? But no, fine. You got a good point about the mind control.
One of the Aphrodite lot that has been revived by one of the other Aphrodite lot runs over wearing clerical. We definitely had a big discussion. I can tell by the tone of my voice. I've run out of patience. Slightly battle-weary in front of you, all going, "Do you have the heart? Is it with you?"
Yes, it's
Why are you on the street? Get in the temple.
We were on.
Yeah, there we are.
Move the episode along. Come on.
That is Alex using an NPC to be like, the episode is slowing. Be hilarious again.
NPCs though.
I think I recall a conversation when Grizzop died that you were like,
You make your way to the temple,
oh shit, the party's lost its.
There's still time.
Fuck off, let's do something. Because Bertie used to be that, and then Grizzop was that.
Oh my god, they have Froyo.
but then to a certain extent, Cell became
No.
In a different way.
Yeah.
Like Cell could go both ways.
Unfortunately, Cell had a tendency to.
Why would you bring up frozen yogurt in such a hot room, though?
Oh, just.
And we're in
Get 'em
Cairo in
talking.
the desert. Like,
But the thing with Cell was it then inspired the others to be like, no, don't do that. Do the thing.
Oh, is this the Froyo conversation?
I'm going to talk randomly. Cut off. Let's get to the point.
As was his face, you know.
When you've worked with people for 5 years, you can do a thing where you set up a thing by doing
Froyo fo shomofo. Great quote. Froyo fo shomofo.
I think you might have
Never do that again.
You are so gone, Helen.
In this hot room and then mentioned.
Yeah, he took me out. I was also like, that is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
It made it onto the wiki, that quote.
Really?
Yeah. It's also after it got add context. I'm not sure what context they want.
Oh, Ben's full of sass in the episode because he can tell that I'm trying to move things along.
He's written kill Ben,
I'm always
not
full of
kill
sass.
Grizzop, so I am just gonna see you guys.
Yeah, just be careful about the froyo you accept.
So, you all make it into the Temple of Aphrodite. And the first thing that becomes apparent is basically anyone with any magical ability is out on the streets right now in that fight. You are left with sort of clerical staff of
God, for something that I mostly made up on the fly, it does seem like it's planned, doesn't it?
Administrative
Clerical
staff.
staff is a terrible term in this world.
Administrative staff.
But what if there was a clerical
Chat are noticing that it becomes apparent. Yeah, that is Alex wildly inventing quickly. I have a number of phrases that are like, oh, I'm just vamping.
Unfortunately, it's potion only, but that'll be good enough. However, what's that? All of you get a scar. I think you do. In this game, if you get hit to 0 hit points, you get a scar. What's that, Azu?
I think there are a couple of cases where you guys should have got scars and we didn't do it. In the
we
later
maybe
games.
forgot.
They also,
what do we think?
some of them, especially when Sasha started like loading them up, some of them were less obvious. Like there was a missing tooth.
I can't remember when I got this. I can't remember who I stole that from. The scar system. I really like it.
Probably some.
We did keep it go for a while because I remember when Zolf got a spike through his head. I remember having like a horrible puckered scar on the temple.
Any outfit Hamid ever wears.
Did we not go down after that though? Because as we got stronger, it was either like you didn't go down, you either just fucking died, which we didn't do.
The next time people went down was with the Barrett monster.
Oh, we might have forgotten that because we were so like hyper and keen.
Well, also a lot of you were unconscious from the gas, not from the monster.
Yeah. So yeah, Hamid kept passing out, but it wasn't damage.
As a creature, that thing was just there to kill, and then once it killed someone, move on. So as a result, it didn't keep knocking everyone else out.
Yeah, all right.
In which case, the next time one of us got knocked out in a fight was like the last episode.
Yeah, pretty much actually.
You know how when like I've got like someone kicked me in the.
Got to admit, I think the Barrett monster was my favourite from the whole series.
It was extremely scary.
I mean,
it's just a really scary creature.
If the Medusa had been able to do anything, would that have been your monster?
Yeah, it probably would have. I mean, I'm not going to lie, Rome was so bad, partially because I was pissed at the Medusa not getting a look in. However, not very, but it was worse for that. Like, there was an element of punishment in there.
I think the show in Organ was good. That was a proper, like, adventure fight. It's like, I'm a big robot in an organ. It's great.
Although I have to say, for the organ fight, I really did have in my head, I never said it, if any of you know Conker's Bad Fur Day, in my head it was playing I Am the Big Mighty Pooh.
I'm aware of the boss, but I've never played it.
I am the Big Mighty Pooh, and I'm going... It's basically singing opera as it fights you, and because it's an organ, it kind of has to.
And in
Rare makes South
3
Park.
minutes, because why not? They come back with a potion of inflict wounds and kind of tentatively hand it to you.
Thanks. That'll do it.
Will it?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think you're desperately trying to tell us how much you're making it up on the fly, but we're like, nah, Alex knows what's going on. We trust in the great Alex.
Damaged by it, we don't know what would
help. Well, it's there just in case for an emergency, you know.
It seemed a bit more complicated when the necromancers did it. I don't think I've had a potion and it's helped me since.
Oh, fucking tracking potions, fuck me.
Yeah.
Oh, so much inventory management has been cut from this series.
Goodbye, Pathfinder.
Just so much has been cut.
Just ended up by the end, like when it was physically in person, having that like sheet with so many things being crossed out and rewritten, and then like the number written over the top. That was like, I cannot read what this is.
I don't regret.
Sort it out on the wiki afterwards.
I don't regret running in Pathfinder because I needed a system that I knew well in those early days, and I wanted the consistency. Let's just say I still haven't returned to RPG since finishing this campaign.
They might have been just doing detect.
We are going to get to the ritual soon.
So it may not be.
Oh yeah.
It might just be a spell thing.
Maybe she shouldn't lose her teeth because now I have to talk Lily.
No, we're just doing scars.
Well, Erin's got to come in first.
Yeah.
I wanted to do more with Erin.
Yeah, that would have been cool, but we immediately abandoned him. So.
Well, no, like towards the end, I really wanted Erin to come back and Azu to be the voice of authority in the conversation.
That was never going to happen, I don't think.
I would have just humbled the crap out of Erin off screen.
I'd drink some.
Oh no! Don't do that. He's such a.
He got away with it. He never came back, so he's absolutely fine.
Because a lot of stuff has to happen, and none of you.
It probably happened off screen since Azu went back to work with him later.
Yeah.
Was only if we actually spend the entire night and
Yeah,
wake up in the morning.
allow me to accelerate, and it will become readily apparent.
Readily apparent.
Yep. That's another one of allow me to move forward because you're all being boring.
Have you thrown us a bone yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. It was a potion, I think.
Sometimes they have people in custody and they lead them deeper in. As you know that they have some basic like padded cells and so on, but mostly for like restraining temporarily, not like dungeons. Or
Interestingly,
like
all of those Alexisms as well are a genuine symptom of dropping and If you go listen to the earlier episodes, there's a lot less isms, but there's a lot more and and people don't like and in their content, but they'll listen to an ism all day long. So I actively swapped and use filler phrases instead of filler noises.
Also, Aaron
such a robot.
Asks to see all of you in his office as he did previously.
I mean, this experience is proving we all are.
Yeah. We're all running algorithms. Just some of them are messier than others.
I never saw the end of it, but yes, Westworld season 2, where they go like, "This is the human algorithm," and it's like a book that's like that thick.
His hands dirty for once, like scuffed and got in a bit of a tussle, so he doesn't look like he just sat it out
like this before.
No one has.
Wow. This is perfect fringe. Slightly off.
Yep. Yeah. His big coiffed hair is kind of flat on his head, and he's having to brush it out, and he's covered in dirt. He doesn't.
Helen's like,
wounded, but
even better.
Yeah.
I mean, what's odd is how on earth are we meant to recognise them as a person of importance if they're not wearing a big hat?
True. He's got big hair.
Oh yeah. Nature's hat.
So, Azu, quite the day. Please tell me that you have the heart of Aphrodite.
I do. And she presents it.
Azu's so keen at the start. Azu's so keen.
Yeah. Phenomenal cosmic power. No.
Oh.
They're in evil hands. Yeah.
So,
like the little bit of tape that's covered their name tag on the door falls off.
He takes his gloves off.
I remember what my notes were for this episode.
My notes consisted of finish fight, make sure get bits, and then brutal nonsense. That's all of the prep for the episode.
This is why it's been impossible to try and learn to GM after having you run this game, because it's so slick.
No, it's so edited.
Pinkish glow for a moment.
It was pretty slick in reality as well.
And then it sort of recedes and returns to as it was. I really didn't think we'd get the chance of doing this. Right. As a general rule, you'll know if Alex is under-prepped because his characters have no voice. If they've got a big elaborate voice, prep happened. And it'd be like Christopher Walken, but deeper, or something. Whereas, if I'm just saying words...
Sasha's been saying some really
didn't do my prep.
things, so I'm just wander over nonchalantly.
Sure.
Wait, what's the child of the... What? A child of what?
I'm pretty sure it's just a turn of phrase.
Right, okay.
We're all children of the light.
He was being like all Aphrodite.
I disagree that you're all children of the light.
No, I disagree. If that was the case, we wouldn't be about to do this procedure if you'd like to proceed.
Well, I meant literally, not metaphorically.
Yeah, just get on with it.
I was so keen to just pull the nonsense on you.
Okay, so I just...
You can hear it for the whole episode. I'm like, come on, skip forward. Come on.
It all makes sense now.
And then takes the heart of Aphrodite and
someone
says,
cast guidance on him first.
I am
that
going to be
+1.
placing this over your neck. Is that okay?
Flinches, but still allows him to...
I really liked your characterization of Sasha, consistently a little off with the physical contact, especially from strangers. The consistency really sells it.
Please, none of you interfere. He briefly turns away from Sasha. This is an incredibly delicate procedure. And as Sasha disappears...
Whoa!
Wait, what?
Bonk, gone.
Has he got
The
his
fair
back
hand has no idea and is continuing talking. No, please.
She's gone! She's gone! Look, turn around!
I just cast Detect Magic.
She's not behind you!
Of looks to be a teleport, a baleful teleport, maybe?
What? She's gone! She's gone! Turn around! She's disappeared!
Turns around.
Fun fact, I had to bend the rules for what a baleful teleport can do to pull this off, but it was worth it.
Was that meant to happen?
Someone's cast teleport on Sasha.
Those gnomes are totally capable.
But there's only us here.
Well, contract ritual magic, I think you can sort of start just find weirdo effects.
Definitely.
I have to admit, I really wish I could have got Darkness, Darkness, and Sphinx back in again towards the end. I wanted them to have had a hard time and been humbled by the whole thing, but they just never lined up.
Yeah, give me a perception.
I wanted them to be linked to the cult of Hades, but
that is 18.
doing badly instead of doing well. Never came
Poorly
up.
paired.
Oh, wait. We're on the.
Now that you're concentrating, it sounds
Sorry, I genuinely love this bit.
going like you're outside or something like a wind.
Oh god, yeah, you thought you were dead.
Yeah.
I didn't, but Sasha did.
Yeah.
And it was clearly annoying you, so I kept doing it.
And you feel some dampness on your cheeks.
It's a weird process, but...
And then you hear the cry of some distant eagle.
Oh, no! Okay, this is getting weird. But I'm sure that's part of the spell.
How long are you willing to stand in the cold?
A good minute or two.
A minute or two passes.
Right. Open
Other things,
one
there's the
eye.
faint smell
longer.
of pine.
You were getting desperate.
Right, this is getting...
I'm chomping at the bit. You can hear it.
Because it was moist because of clouds.
Yeah, I could tell then, and so I was like, we're gonna string this out.
When you put it up, I was like, if she's in heaven, then that's not so bad.
Alex genuinely was there like, that'd be madness, and there was just a twitch of like, that would have been better.
That happens a lot.
Opens one eye very carefully.
That happens a lot where you all get ahead of the story and suggest something that's slightly better, and I'm like, can I pivot to that? No.
You have.
It's very easy to jump on someone else's idea with another suggestion.
No idea where you are. And by a mountain, I don't mean sort of like, kind of stuff. We're talking like maybe top of the Alps or something. There is blisteringly
or something,
cold
or
wind,
literally
there is
that.
Snow. You can see there's a tree.
Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
As an undead, does the cold hurt?
Yeah, a few times in the series you'll catch me say or something because I realise I've given away some info that might be useful. So I'm like, oh, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
Damn. It's refreshingly quiet.
Oh, that's nice.
And looking down out over this massive splayed out vista, it's both beautiful, like with the sun is
just sort of reaching its peak, and it's spraying like god rays all over the landscape. And it's quiet for the first time we've had in like actual quiet.
Definitely dead.
Give me another perception check.
Pretty sure I'm dead. That is 24.
So you're having a look at this landscape, and then you turn and realise you're not actually at the very, very top.
It distresses me how much of this campaign I could reduce if my descriptions were just replaced with "It's creepy."
And you see
it's pretty.
Figures stood up on the mountain.
There's a mountain.
Looking down upon you.
To be fair, like think how you could reduce the Magnus archives to just one of those.
Yeah. There was a lamp. It was haunted. Next statement.
There's a guy that looked a bit weird.
Gnomes do welcome people into
Barton's a dickhead. I'm always going to hate him.
into heaven as well.
Oh, nice chat. Sasha's not in purgatory. She's in purgatory.
Oh! Boo.
Very nice chat.
That joke was
Very
brutal.
Nice.
Oh! Slowly walk over.
So gently ambling over.
I mean, it is Sasha, so she walks out with daggers drawn.
Of course.
Yeah, Sasha amble.
You don't want to get surprised. Even in death.
Sasha ambles the way like Daredevil ambles.
The last place then.
It might be one of the challenges. You know, it's one of those things Sasha's always sort of believed that,
Ben, everyone really likes your pun.
Maybe an afterlife, but like she hasn't picked.
You'd have to fight your way in.
She hasn't picked a specific god. You know.
Oh, I'd love to do that as a campaign session. Fighting your way into heaven because you think you deserve to be there.
As you approach, it becomes.
Oh, that'd be really fun.
That's a great one shot. I like that. Oh no, there's a one shot. Bertie digging his way from poo hell into heaven by sheer force of will and entitlement.
Oh, good grief.
Or thank you for joining.
I'm gonna write a little note of that.
Bertie's
like
Inferno.
Yeah, I'm gonna write a little note. I like that.
A lot of things.
That's going in the book.
Some of them were good though.
For the first time you've ever seen it, they look a little bit awkward. We're not quite sure what to
We've actually seen Alex get an idea that he likes.
Right? The ritual went wrong, or it was all.
The gnomes look at one another. Another thing you've never seen them do before, then look back.
It was all, or like it was all.
There may have been a miscommunication.
Well, oh right, am I being sent to the wrong? I mean, if you want to send me to heaven, that's
to be
good.
Present
That's fine.
at the final execution of MacGuffin.
Pro tip: never do this. It isn't worth the effort.
It's a good effect though. Yeah.
Is she back in time?
So they pull out the full.
Come on, Helen. I don't do time travel.
Look, if this is some kind of final challenge before.
When did you decide that you would break that rule and do the time travel?
I'd rather do it with short
Truthfully?
than a long one.
We apologise for the
say it now.
inconvenience.
I
If
know.
you just bear with us.
At the time,
I know that you're trying to be generous, giving me a good blade for it.
Please.
I even decided to time jump at the time. I was like, I might pull some nonsense. What am I going to do? And I was like, oh, you know what? I'll chuck them back in time and I'll do a time jump. That'll work. And then just spent 40 episodes cleaning up after myself.
On the other side of the peak, and they start walking up. The sun is glowing behind them, and they are outlined in light. You're not entirely sure who it is. I mean, it looks Bertie-esque. They have a rippling physique, humanoid.
Yeah,
And they're stepping forward.
Oh no, it's
you see a
brutal.
glint of gold on their forehead, sort of shining from the light.
No. If I look, I did some bad things, but I cannot be in the same afterlife as.
Thank you for that, Lid. That was
not right.
They step forward.
everything I wanted.
It's almost certainly Bertie.
This is not fair.
Wait, no, it's not. Oh no, it's not Bertie.
Is it the spirit of the sword?
You know what? It looks like.
Is it Brutor in a suit?
On the uptake.
Maybe.
Oh, you monster! Pugmine. He already pugmined beyond Brutal.
The figure steps
I'm
forward.
so happy.
And they step out from the outshining light, and you can see the weirdest moment you've ever had of it's Brutor's face on basically like a slightly furry version of Bertie's body.
You lent Blacks at?
Wearing a golden sort of wreath around his head.
Hello, Sasha.
Right, this is not what I expected.
See, that's how we can tell that you prepped. It's got a voice.
Sorry, she's a bit awkward.
Yeah, it is.
Alex with a mouthful of marbles.
Because I always thought that maybe if I did good in the world,
I think Brutal's the only character that's been played by multiple of us.
Bertie, I guess, is
Bryn and a Pugmire, me here.
Nope, not true, because we did the... I've forgotten the name of it. When you animals have farthinged woods, all my characters, which means that they have been played
by
multiple people. I mean, not in the same universe, though, so that is...
Pursuant to the final execution of the...
Chat's just gone off at the mention of marbles.
Ah, yes, marbles.
Brutal Niels.
Yeah, it's like one of my favourites.
How Helen saved the world.
As well.
Yep.
We dub the Sir Brutal.
They're saying Wild's been played by Bryn. When has Wild been played by Bryn?
And they dub Brutal in front of you.
Would it have been in the Into the Wild, not Into the Wilds, the Bertie side quest? Did Wild briefly appear in that?
Okay.
Yeah, Bertie side quest.
There we go.
Yep.
So, wait.
I still haven't listened
Brutal
to that.
stands there.
Yeah, it's alright.
Thrusts the sword into the
I still
air,
haven't listened to you
gives a
guys
big cry
rushing
that
the
echoes over the mountains.
Well, it's public now.
Yeah, you can read through it.
From the distance, you hear brutal.
The boys then turn to you. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh no!
You immediately disappear, and Sasha returns.
Where did you go?
What's?
She's back! She's back! She's back!
Erin turns round.
Oh, Bryn.
What did you see, my child? What
Where
happened?
did you go?
Well, at least we're not listening to the fiance episode.
Yeah, oh my god.
Okay, unless Aphrodite is a dog with a sword.
Good line. Good line, Lid. Good line.
Half of this episode is on Sasha's quoted wiki.
Okay.
Wonderful.
We can tell that, like, realizing that this episode is like 10 minutes longer than usual. You needed to get this brutal thing in.
I no longer respect your
Oh,
craft.
Helen, chat are furious that you never heard the introduction of Ed in the Bertie side quest.
Also, there's a really sexy orc. I don't know, some guy.
I know, it sounds completely up my street.
Rusty Quill Gaming is a podcast.
It's
Actually,
even
no.
got a bunch of myths
licensed
in
under a
it.
Creative Commons
Yep.
Attribution.
I don't
And
remember
to
if
be
there's
honest-
an after credits in this.
Today's episode was
Oh,
recorded
maybe.
and produced
Also,
by
I think there
Jay
is.
Newell.
To be entirely honest,
make
the orc
donations
is mainly
and view
frustrated,
links,
not
images,
very sexy.
videos, and show notes, visit
I do remember you struggling to find the voice again.
Review us on iTunes.
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
Visit us on Facebook.
Everyone says
Because I
yes,
got
he
it
is
perfect.
sexy. I don't know what they're talking about.
Or email us at mail@rustyquill.com.
I want to say that's mainly Lowe's fan art. fault.
It does slap. It's a great
It does.
tune. I was so happy with him.
Look forward to the chapter of multiverse theme.
Yeah, I am.
Podcast 100.
We've been doing this for so long, release us.
We could have become a
You
master
have
at
no
a
idea.
skill in the amount of time it's taken us to record these. Think about that.
So many things I could have done. I want to build a boat.
I want to build a boat.
And you
I've
did!
mastered several
Sell
new
did!
skills quietly in the corner.
So I'm Alex Newell, and with me today I
Why
have.
can I only think of filthy options?
Because of the way he talked to everyone.
Oh yeah, it was a proper.
Anything about Bryn? Innocent voice, filthy eyes.
I haven't cleaned my glasses in a while, guys.
It's good to know that 100 episodes in, and I still can't make anything go.
And I think that concludes episode 100.
Number two blooper.
It just transforms you to where the dog is, so the dog can get the sword.
Oh, Alex.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, you are horrible genius.
Fabulous. Cool. So that was episode 100. Thank you, chat, for helping me get all of the volumes and the tech connected up and working and so on. How are we all feeling, performers? Do we need a moment? Do we need some water? How are we doing?
So, what a deeply strange experience.
Have you ever done a commentary track before?
Nah.
Oh, it's odd.
Hang on, when would I?
I don't know. I can't remember if we had you in for a
commentary track.
I can't remember if we got you in for a Magnus one or something.
No, you did all of those.
Yeah.
I just kind of assume that you're all doing the same things I am at all times.
Yes, this is the reason, Alex, that there's so many freaking novels about dudes in their 30s stuck in a room.
If there's one thing I like, it's a main character who's a writer.
You I am really surprised that Rusty Quill doesn't have a whole podcast that is about a sound editor.
Yeah.
Like, there was never even a Magnus episode where you had, like,
You know what?
I am stuck in a room and I'm listening to sound over and over.
Like, for various reasons, obviously, I've seen basically all the pitches we've received. I don't think we've ever received a pitch about a sound editor.
Yeah. Everyone thinks it's derivative because
well, yeah, clearly.
did a whole film, right?
Sorry, very quickly, Cat.
Say again?
Cat.
Casper. Cat.
Yeah, all right. You can stay there. But he's not allowed to brush up against the PC because the static discharge could destroy the entire stream, so he's allowed there. You're okay there.
He's going to be there and stare at you.
Oh, fine. One sec, Casper. All right. There you go. There you go. There you go. Hello. There we go. He shouldn't be in here at all.
I was going to say, surprised to see him.
He shouldn't be. Right. Anyway, yes. Why are you so popular? It's distressing to me. You don't deserve it.
Cat.
You contribute nothing. So anyway,
but fluffy.
We still have time for obvious reasons. So we are going to be, I believe, according to the platform, like on. I forgot the name of the platform.
Crowdcast.
There was a Q&A function on Crowdcast that was set up where people, like attendees, could pre-enter questions and so on. And so those were filtered through the common sense filter, I believe. And I've been given a short list of questions that were submitted. So I have some questions here to go through for all of you, if you're willing to do a little bit of an impromptu Q&A with me.
Yeah, yeah. We did.
No, I'm just going to sit here in silence now.
Yeah.
Technically, though,
my contractual occupation obligation.
I can't stop you from just sitting there in silence. I can't physically stop you.
Communicate only in eyebrow twitches.
Yeah.
And yet
that could work.
The resolution, at least on my camera, is not really good enough to tell.
Okay. In that case, then, question for you, Ben.
Hello.
It's one of your favourites. It's a hypothetical.
Oh, I don't know.
How do you think Zolf would have reacted to Sasha disappearing in front of him instead of getting healed? So Zolf in Grizzop's place.
I don't know. I do it so spontaneously. I don't know. Probably quite shocked.
I think Zolf would have immediately threatened violence to Aaron Fairhands and assumed that it was his fault. Late stage Zolf certainly would.
I don't think that's logical, though.
I didn't know that Zolf had logic.
No, but like it's not completely unreasonable because Aaron didn't do it. Like if Aaron had started doing the ritual and then Sasha disappeared, it'd be like fine. But Aaron literally just like put the heart of Aphrodite, turned around to us to be like, "I'm going to start casting a spell now," and like obviously didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. So
there might be some halberd waving. Or some,
Zolf would definitely try and do something practical and logical, but it wouldn't actually be that useful.
Yeah, oh no, God no. or he'd just have a fucking panic attack.
I feel like it might be that. Because actually, no, yeah, because if it's the turn away, it'd have just been, cool, so the item's clearly cursed and has immediately stolen her away. Great.
Yeah, great, brilliant. Fuck that one up again, didn't you, Zolf?
I'm gonna go wander the world for 2 years! Okay. Question for you, Helen, then.
Yes.
What was it like to experience a callback referencing something you weren't around for in the first place? I mean, that pretty much sums up, like, all of the first episodes you were in.
I don't remember if you had to explain humanoids brutal to me or not.
It's okay, Helen. Humanoid Brutor can't hurt you.
I think I think Bryn may have had to do an info dump for you after the session.
Yeah, I think I was like...
I think you may have been quietly just like, this is just odd.
Yeah, I remember finding it extremely funny whilst, like, I knew that I was missing a large chunk, but also the visuals were amazing. Yeah. I just got used to it. I mean, I'd only been at like 4 recording sessions at that point or something.
Oh my god. No, would it? Yeah, no, you're right,
more.
actually. I don't think it was more.
Doing 3 or 4 a time. Yeah. Like you'd been in for sort of.
Yeah, it would only be 4 or 5.
Bear in mind, in the studio, there was a period where we got 5 a couple of times in a row, and it's more or less when you were around.
God, those were.
They were heavy. They were very heavy. But yeah, I think you're right. It's only been a couple of recording sessions for you.
Yeah, I think probably I was still a little bit unsure of my role in the group, and so I did not create as much uproar as I may otherwise have done. To be like, what the fuck is this?
You know how I can tell you weren't sure what was going on, and how it was an early episode for you? I described a rippling physique, and you didn't go fwar. Like, that's a real tell.
Really?
Helen gets increasingly filthy as the series rolls on.
Well, I mean, what happened in Damascus, Helen? Come on.
No, what happened in Damascus stays in Damascus.
At least that's what we tell for Seek.
Okay.
Is that, and also we recorded a large chunk of this series in the pandemic, where I've had to be. I live alone and by myself. All I have is my imagination.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
Oh dear. We all need to collectively take you out on a date, Helen.
A friend date.
Yes. That's more wholesome than what I was suggesting, yes.
I assume
that really...
there was some kind of competitive effort.
Yeah, I genuinely, Lydia, I was thinking competitive, and I don't know what that says about me.
The Bachelor with Helen as the Bachelor. I would watch that.
Oh, I'd watch that as well.
I would listen to the podcast that is like lots of people that think that they're funny and cool doing...
Failing to meet Helen's standard.
Failing to meet Helen's standards, playing weird games on audio.
Rightfully, it matters that they have to rightfully fail. Yeah. Where it's like Helen just has, normal standards and they're all just characters.
You would be surprised at how easy it is to fail my standards.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask.
They're not loser dudes. They're just they're just not good enough.
I'm going to ask the next question before I do a deep dive into Helen, lay your entire love life out for the chat, please. Would you please dissect your life for us?
An ideas board of that series immediately after this show.
No, we'll do it on enthusiasm. It'll be fine.
Right. Lydia, this one's for you.
Mm-hmm.
How did it feel ending Sasha's chronic illness arc? That's a good question, actually. I don't think that even came up in any of the Q&As.
No, I don't think that, honestly, the arc ended in the chronic illness thing was yet more of a series of things that damaged Sasha's trust and damaged her journey towards trust. So when she was fixed, when that particular health-related thing was fixed, it didn't fix the emotional damage it had done. I think she was still extremely jumpy and she was still damaged by it as an experience. So I don't think there was this is closed off, this is fixed and sorted. Which is genuinely one of the whole reasons why I was open to one of the reasons why I was so glad that the Rome arc kind of went the way it did, because there was
you needed 2 years.
Well, yeah, I think it was I played it quite straight as a thing because it's something that is very familiar to me, and so I thought it'd be a bit of a disservice to it to kind of immediately be okay. Yeah. So yeah, I think I've probably said that before, but yeah, I think that the illness and the stabby stab of the squizzard, and the outbursts over that's all part of the same thing.
Was there any creature that you faced that didn't get a stupid name?
Well, I was going to say, speaking of stupid names, Skype has just transcripted Squizzard as Disquizzard, so just...
better.
I got to do that 2 more times to see if it standardises. Squizzard. Squidward. Oh, we're getting there. Good. Close enough. All right then. Next question then.
Yeah.
Had It's to me. Had I always planned to bring back Brutor, or did I just seize the moment? I hadn't always planned to bring Brutor back, but I did have that specific thing planned a lot earlier than that episode. As a general rule, I can swear it's great. As a general rule, if the thing that I'm doing in an episode is just fucking bullshit, it was probably planned ages ago. If it's intricate lore that requires, accurate measurements of distances and understanding of basic Earth geography, that kind of thing, I probably winged it. And I'd love to say that that's a lie, but no, I really did tend to, especially in the earlier days, just prep for the nonsense stuff.
You told me before, I don't know whether you remember this or whether it was like accurate or exaggerated for comic effect, but you said that the moment that Sasha offhandedly said, I would like to be
oh yeah, that's when it locked in.
That you were like, yeah, no, that's actually going to happen.
Yeah, like absolutely. That was the moment where I'm like, cool, I locked that in. In terms of how I was going to get there, I had no idea. In terms of using the Heart of Aphrodite, it was maybe the session before I went, that can work, and then I can slot it in because I need some nonsense because episode 100's coming up and Bryn's built it up real big and I got nothing. Yeah, okay, yeah, that timeline works out. But yeah, I remember when you saying that, I was just like, oh, what a gift. Never make an offhand comment in my presence. Thank you so much. In the book, there it goes. I think that was the one I was most pleased at being able to punish you with. Because it had no consequences at all. It made
Absolute
no
monster.
difference to anything.
It meant Brutal turned up in the final fight.
True.
Did you have any other plans for Brutor? Like, were there things where you even ideas that you squished immediately, but like, oh, did you think, oh, he might get on the Vengeance or something? Like, oh yeah, we can totally have a Brutor.
Not really, because honest time on a live stream, I'm going to get very like the side that people don't see, which is me getting all like actually critical and serious about the process for a second.
He's turned his chair around. He's straddling it.
No, because Brutor and Ed hit the same archetypal points.
Yeah.
There's not space for two of them. There's a reason that the two never met. It'd be funny for a scene, and beyond the scene, it'd be really fucking irritating because they are literally the same character, just plopped into a different role, and that's not a bad thing. Like archetypes are allowed. A thing of this scale, you get multiple archetypes, but I was very careful as much as possible to make sure that archetypes didn't pair up against one another. I'm trying to remember. There were a couple of others that caused me some issues. It was an issue to do with the kobolds. I needed to do a lot of work so that they didn't all just smear into like arbitrary group, because I never wanted that to happen. But yeah, there's a few cases where there's a few pairings that people are like, oh, this would be really good, and it's like, yes, and then you'd get bored really quickly. So Brutor and Ed can't ever really be in the same room because it just it's a scene, and that's all.
They were on top of the tower with us and occupied with fighting, and then Brutor got turned back into a dog.
Yeah.
I really hope that Ed then adopted Dog Brutal.
Ah.
We never clarified what happened to Brutor afterwards, did we?
Nope.
I mean, in that case, then there is no canon. But I like the idea of Ed adopting Brutor, but I've no idea what happened to Brutor.
And like, because in Brutor is in a little like version of his armor suit, in the same way that Bertie used to dress him up, but he like follows Ed around, kind of as a little armored dog, very seriously. Takes his job serious.
Right? I did read, as I was filing some stuff away, I did read the prep for the tower fight. For the epilogue, sorry, there wasn't much, and because I mostly asked, you guys what you wanted to do, and then it was so I didn't really set anything in stone. I did write one note, which was basically Ed equals Pope ? Followed by no, that's stupid. Full stop. That was Pope Ed was just a thing where I went, no, that's a really bad, that's a stupid idea, Alex. Still wrote it down. Don't know why I do that. But yeah, Pope Ed was a thing that I was like, no, that's a shit idea. Okay. Few more questions then. Oh, you'll like this one, Ben.
Huh?
It's a hypothetical for you.
Oh.
How would the epilogue have worked if Grizzop had survived to the end of the campaign?
would you show his little goblin funeral as he died of old age graphic, or shorten the time span of the epilogue episodes?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have had control over that, but no, absolutely, one of the epilogue scenes would have been at his funeral.
I mean, there was...
Because it has to be, because I think it was really important, the fact that the goblins had such short lives. And, Helen did a similar thing with Azu, but it was, at a time scale where you didn't kick the bucket.
All three of the epilogues have dropped by now. I totally have lost track of our feed.
They're all down.
Yeah, we're doing Into the Wilds now.
Yeah, good. Yeah. So, because I remember, me and Helen had a big old talk, which is does Azu survive this epilogue?
I mean, I think, and then I brought it up with the rest of you as well, because I was like, I kind of wanted to die at the end, but then we decided it would be too
sad.
Yeah, too angsty.
Yeah, I have to admit, and this is not canon stuff. I kind of in my head at the time didn't think that Azu woke up.
No, I think we talked about it. I think what you said was we might be able to imply it.
But I think it was the right call to not, because this is not canon at all.
No, it's not.
If it was a TV show, you'd definitely be implying it with the camera work and stuff like that. A lot of lingering shots that are But I like that it isn't that way.
I think they wanted a nice boat trip. Fuck you both.
Yeah, I think actually.
This is the thing. I think it works better as it is.
They go on the boat trip. They get out there. They're dozing in the sun.
Boat explodes.
Then one of them.
They just lost all of them in one go. Just
the exhaust got clogged with seaweed.
Accidents happen.
We don't have engines. Well, I guess we don't know. Cell would have put an engine in. Yeah.
Cell forced 100 years of technical development into 10.
Yeah. And so it explodes a lot.
Oh, yeah. But it was a really cool explosion.
Chat is unimpressed with you, Ben. Chat is really quite unimpressed with you.
That just encourages me, so they know.
Yeah, don't give him that fuel. He'll just blow up more boats with it. Okay. Next question. Did any of you have backup characters prepared in case of the Grizzup and Sasha problem, untimely character demises?
No, I didn't have any ready.
You didn't have any ready, Helen. I know that, Lyd, we discussed your Volcano Druid.
Yeah, I really wanted a Druid of Volcanoes Goblin. But then they would have been another probably distance fighter kind of goblin. And that was a bit too similar.
The irony I remember at the time is you saying Volcano Druid and me going, because you suggested that very early in the campaign as your backup, and I went, careful, that's quite complicated. And then you gave me Cell.
Well, if you can't have Druid, you've got to get the other shapeshifter.
Oh, damn. You had one, Ben, and it's been scratching, because this question's come up before. There was something scratching in my head where it's there's at least one that never turned up, but I can't place it.
I can't remember. I come up and throw away character ideas really, really I mean, it probably would have been Chelvar.
Chelvar we already discussed, where it's you and I did have a formal discussion, and I was yeah, I can make Chelvar your backup. There are a few jump on points. You'd have found Chelvar in Svalbard as an example. There are a few jumping on points for Chelvar if it ever came up. That was an easy one.
And I think again, why did we go with Zolf? Oh, I think it was because I had the idea of bringing him back as a cleric of not hope.
Yeah.
Because I was okay, that's cool growth, and it's it's better than just yet another character.
Yeah, I have a vague memory that we did discuss, okay, you get Chelvar back if Zolf dies, and then there was a brief period where I feel you mooted a odd hypothetical in case of a Chelvar death, a backup to a backup, but I can't. It was super nascent.
Lost to the mists of time.
Yeah, and it was never more than a single conversation, unfortunately. Okay. Next question. At this part in the campaign, how old is Wild? Okay. Wild is, at this point, because in this universe, Wild was born in 18... so must be at least at this point. I've no idea.
No.
Sorry. Let the age be whatever suits your requirements. I genuinely don't know.
In my head, I had Wild older than I am now, I think, slightly. But there are no markers in there. At no point do I ever indicate what his age is, and that's sort of deliberate. I don't think at any point I've implied it, so as a result, the age can be whatever you want it to be, and it works. I don't think it works if Wild is, like, actively elderly at this point in the campaign. But
he's got to live another 20 years.
Well, this is my point. Anything
and
short
also,
of
if you're
that,
actively elderly, you get mechanical penalties, so if you weren't factoring them in, he couldn't be yet.
Anything... I tend to play loose and fast with the age penalties a little bit.
God,
but yeah,
stupid.
Anything other than elderly still works. And if you want to do elderly, go for it. Like, what difference does it make, really? In that case, then, next one is... Are there plans to release my notes about what happened with all the NPCs after the campaign? There's some people we'd love an update on. Vasik, Grog, Hamid's brothers. I'm going to give an honest answer, since I like to be a bit more honest when it's on the sort of live stuff, which is probably not. I can't do that and also continue to work on the new stuff that we have lined up this year. And we have a really, really big year for content this year in terms of like new shows and stuff that hasn't even been announced yet. There's more than just one that hasn't been announced yet and stuff like that. What you're really asking for there accidentally is, am I going to prioritize this over that? And the answer is no. I'd like to do this, and if I had the time to burn, I would. But being very, very honest, it is a little bit of a either or, and the other things I think you'll enjoy more, to be honest. This might be something that comes up far, far later. I do occasionally like have a sit and a mull as to what happens to them, and I can do stuff on the hoof, but an actually like prepared thing, probably not.
Well, I mean, also you might get some of those answers in some yet to be released content. I mean, they know what it is because they bloody submitted the questions for it, so yeah.
but that's the thing as well, is like there will likely be further content, and who knows what the future holds. And I don't like to... I'm always wary of those creators who finish a work and then continue to define increasingly obscure details of that work ad infinitum. And like to quote literally George Lucas, don't catch yourself making the same show 30 years down the line.
Oh, well, he didn't take his own advice then.
Well, so as a result, it's one of those things where I'd like to, but I don't want to lie and say yes. So if I can, I will, but I don't think it's going to happen. Okay. Next one is the Blokes and Lads fight in episode 100 is the closest the party has come to a TPKO. Certainly up to that point, if not all of the podcast. That I challenge. But because it was so much fun, many listeners didn't quite realise. Did you realise during the session with tensions running high and being released via the humour? Basically, this is like everyone getting knocked out. This stinks of TPKO. At my end, I knew that it was win-win, where if you were all knocked out, you all wake up going, why weren't we killed? That's suspicious, and I can sow some suspicion, and I've still got my win of they got some locks of hair. To be honest, it's a bit of a Schrodinger's encounter, because I could have posted after the fact, if I needed to, just go, yeah, they got a lock of hair during the fray, and you wouldn't have been able to argue it, but it's more satisfying this way. So from my end, I wasn't worried at all, because it wasn't a real one. The most worried by far was in the mine. No, not the mine, the catacombs. That was by far the biggest worry for me in the whole campaign. But I'm curious for you lot whether it felt like a TPK was on the way.
I did not. It did not feel serious to me at all, because we had just spent the entire previous episode yelling about Lord of the Rings and chanting. Yeah. And I was desperately trying to make decisions about my character while the rest of you were just punning away. And I was like, what do I do?
I need to establish a character baseline, people. Stop making jokes.
So, and it didn't feel like anyone was treating it very seriously, so I didn't get scared.
I think the vibe would have been quite different if we hadn't called them lads and blokes.
Yeah. I admit, in the original prep, it wasn't intended as a jokey one. I intended to stress you all the hell out, and you just ran completely roughshod over that, and you don't fight it when it's going that badly.
I mean, it's a pretty horrible fight when you take a step back and think about it.
But yeah, someone makes a lads and blokes joke, and I want to blame you, Ben. I don't know if it was
me.
you, but I do
No,
want to
it
blame
was.
you. It feels like you.
Yeah. It's a you joke.
But yeah, I'm trying to think. What, in terms of like mechanically, I should know off the top of my head what the biggest risks of TPK were. Catacombs definitely ran very close to the line.
Bloody Kew Gardens.
Kew Gardens ran very close to the line.
If Sash ran out of bombs, we'd be dead.
There was one thing where you said we were a roll away.
Yeah. So the Catacombs, I needed you to get to the chasm.
So that you could bring us back.
Yeah.
Because we did TPK. We did TPK. We TPK'd in the right place.
Yeah, that was it. Is I needed to get you to the chasm, and then you could either make it across the chasm, and then you'd have ended up in a better situation, but heading in the same direction. But yeah, that was bad, but at least bad in the right ways. Kew Gardens was bad. The crashing airship was actually... I went back and looked at my maths. That was quite dangerous for some of you.
And I think the one we were rolled away from was probably the show-in fight. If Helen hadn't nailed that final attack, we were in like big trouble.
It was Bryn that saved us.
Oh, was it Bryn? Oh, sorry.
Bryn.
Okay.
Yeah, so the Shoin one was interesting because a lot of stuff didn't go off for that. If any of you had fallen to the like hilarious laughing goops, that was my actual risk. Is I built that very high risk. That was one where it's like if one of you falls to that, close. If two of you fall to that, if anyone more did, you'd just die. I did rein in a couple on the fly. I reined in the Svalbard evil teleportation thing. I gave you the get out of the mechanical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Technically, that was a killable thing for you at that level, but it was very clear to me that you weren't going to figure it out. Like
I was scared.
Well, yeah, I built it up a lot. For anyone,
everything I did was just running in the opposite direction.
I mean, did I ever say what monster that was? I don't remember if I did.
You just called it the colour purple.
Oh,
like
yeah, it was literally Pathfinder has
out.
a stat block for the colour out of space.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yes, we did. I remember. Yeah. I remember because I made this exact same face.
Okay, everyone in chat is just like, no. Old man on roof. Old man on roof. I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
No. Old man on roof wasn't going to be a TPK, and you know why?
Nearly killed Sasha.
Because Bryn would never, ever do something that stupid. I could lose all of you but Hamid, but that was never going to be a TPK because Bryn isn't a player who goes, yeah, I'll risk a mortal injury when everyone else is already down for the lulz.
Coward.
It's because he likes his character. He doesn't want to spend it like a penny.
That's his
Coward.
mistake. Yeah.
Beyond that, yeah, I think I'd have to double check, but there were a few moments, but weirdly enough, the TPKs tended to be on the less boss fighty side of things historically.
But yeah, because you'd be less prepared and you take things
That's
less
exactly what it is. Is you don't run the
yeah.
figures properly, and then it catches you by surprise, and you're like, oh. Anywho,
Could have lost a lot of people on the channel crossing.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have been the TPK because Bertie was elsewhere, and
so
Hamid was still on the boat. So
I had a get out for that one, which I've never discussed, which was
just Poseidon being like,
well, here's the thing, full-blown divine intervention from Poseidon, just so I could have Zolf deal with that.
Yeah.
Also, no, actually, I lie. I had two get-outs for that.
The mechanical tentacle.
I did have, and here's a plotline that I've never mentioned that was baked in very, very early as a potential, which is there was an alternate pathway whereby if you all sank, I had considered the option of mechanical squid not just being an entity, but being an actual vessel, and you getting Nemo'd.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then you would have ended up looping into the Shoin arc. So it would have reordered the modules of the campaign, but you would have ended up falling into the Shoin arc early. And I did, yeah, Squid Marine, as chat says, yeah. So I did consider doing Squid Marine as a get out. I think at the time, I was going to do Squid Marine right up until you really leaned into the Poseidon stuff.
Yeah.
You were really like, oh, I chucked my stuff overboard, and I'm like, why? Drama! And I was like, yeah, Mecha Squid Nemo time isn't the right call here. But I think that was my original get out for that is, yeah, basically, oh yeah, if you're looking for an AU, absolutely, they all fall overboard. Squidmarine picks them up. They then go to Shoein's first. That's a different campaign pathway. I've no idea what that would look like.
Because Shoin would be like, yeah, I built a simulacrum. They're all idiots.
Basically, yeah. So it still works as a campaign. It's just that's a very different. Oh yeah, chat like, oh yeah, and Bertie can just fuck off. Okay, there's an element of craft here where I would have to engineer him in the way that I engineered Grizzop into Rome and so on. Like, but yeah, I think it would have functioned. Oh, now everyone's interested in what happens if the Squidmarine meets the Venga, because some of the squid are probably still kicking around. Good question. Go write it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll read that.
I'd read the shit out of that. Yeah. As always, I'm of the opinion that worlds are most interesting once they end. Okay, we're going on to the next question. Next question. Being knocked unconscious is just another Tuesday for Sasha. Can you, Lydia, this is less of a question, more like a test. Lydia, can you remember all of the scars Sasha had to the end of AR? Ancient Rome, oh yeah. I don't think it was ever specified what scar she got from being knocked unconscious in Ancient Rome 4 when she was becoming a sacrifice. So any words of God from you as to like...
That was the limp that she had afterwards.
Yeah, I thought that was the limp.
Yeah.
But scars, do you think you can remember them? I cannot. I won't even claim to.
I can try. So she goes through the wall, and that's where she gets the burn up her...
Yeah.
Oh, no, before that, she's obviously missing part of her finger.
Yeah.
And she gets the goes through and gets the wall.
Oh, yeah, that was where... that was where I used the bullshit Alchemist Fire...
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Then, obviously she loses the tooth. She gets hit on the head and has the white puff of hair from the blob monster.
Oh, yeah.
She has a blue, mark from when the ice dagger shatters.
Yeah.
What a dick move that was.
Was that in Ancient Rome? Was that in the Hades?
No, that was when the thing multiplied and hit her back.
That wasn't on the fly. That was a pre-prepped thing, which is why I stuck to it.
That was the one time that she ever got a critical, a confirmed critical.
Yeah, that's true.
I know that I'm missing. There's the autopsy scar.
Oh yeah! I forgot about that.
And the falcon on the back from Bertie landing.
Gosh, that was falling off. Yeah.
The time when people finally realised that, oh no, Bertie is a bad guy because he threw Bruiser off the roof, and everyone was like, oh, and that's when I realised he was proper.
And that's how I met your mother. No.
Yeah. So that definitely wasn't in order, but I think that is all of them. So you've got, working downwards, you've got hair, broken tooth, burn scar down
suggesting,
neck.
Did you get one from Invisible geezers in Rome?
That's the puff of white hair.
That's the puff of white, yeah.
Because she's knocked unconscious from above because it was a ghost thing. Yeah. So working downwards, puff of white hair, missing tooth, burn scar down there, falcon burned on the back, autopsy scar, the ice hand, and then finally the limp from Sacrifice.
God, I beat the crap out of Sasha, didn't I? Oh. Yeah, when you say it like that, I sound like a monster.
Didn't even get any scars from the whole, are you a undead thing? That's just mental scars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the autopsy. That was the autopsy, situation.
Well, yeah. No, you're true. True. That's lingering effects of the autopsy situation. Mm. Which, of course, there's the thing where Zolf did the best heal check in the world, and yet no one ever knew. Yeah.
That autopsy scar was
work of art.
Yeah.
It was basically a cross stitch.
Yeah, your organs were in such the right place.
I feel like a couple of aches and pains that everyone has the odd one that's just there and you just deal. I feel like at least one of them got removed and you never noticed the end of the furrow.
You have IBS and someone rearranges your guts and it's gone.
It's just like it's been ages since I had a problem.
Of course, the finger grows back, so I don't know how many things got fixed in the Heart of Aphrodite healing. I don't think we said that any of the other.
I don't remember. I'd have to double check again.
I don't think we did.
Chat are requesting if Zolf has any free appointments to fix all of their various aches and pains with a quick organs rearrangement. Okay.
Zolf, rearrange my organs. Okay, the liver goes over here. I knew that would get Helen.
Helen's doing real well right now.
I'm doing so well.
Okay. For everyone, what was your favourite chill episode?
Did we have those?
We definitely had a couple here and there.
I absolutely loved Soggy Cabin Boy and the riot that turned into a rave. That was amazing. Yeah. That was so much fun.
I was so annoyed at James for hitting all of the rolls to just tell everyone to stop, and they did.
And then the soundscaping was awesome as well. So, like, the whole thing, it felt like a party in your ear holes. It was great.
That was fun. I'm trying to think. I quite liked some of the downtime that Sasha and Barnes had during the sort of, like, single female lawyer sequences where it was just like a domestic sort of court martial.
Because
that wasn't really relevant to the campaign. That was just stuff was happening.
There was also the downtime with the guard that, of course, starts the whole sexy novel thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Of course, once Helen joined the campaign, everything was very businesslike and focused.
I set myself up to pre-Paris I was allowed to fuck around. there was wiggle, but then after Paris it was like, okay, I need to start.
I was going to say though, like I think my favourite is probably the Vengeance Party.
I was about to say that one when we all got to dress up nicely.
Oh yeah,
that was good.
Were we body swapped at that point?
Yeah.
Yes.
That worked really well. I took a bit of a punt on that one, and I was worried that it could have gone south, but I think it actually came out quite nicely.
Yeah, that was a really nice one. Obviously Kiko date is up there too.
Oh yeah.
No, that was really stressful. I think we cover why in the Q&As. I don't remember. I've lost track.
Yeah, we do.
But that was super stressful. I always have a soft spot for basically the Japanese inn. Like, to my head, that's based on an actual onsen that I've been to once. So as a result, like, that hits a very nice note for me. But that's more just
locked in a cage for a week at that.
I mean, what do you think an onsen is, Betway? Have I had a very atypical experience?
Yeah.
No. A fun fact: I did go to an onsen, and then there was a big old earthquake mid-bathe. That was an odd one. I admit, I thought someone had trumped. They hadn't. It was an earthquake.
Japan itself had done the
Oh, chat. Good one, chat. Chaucer. Dinner with Chaucer.
Yeah, that was good.
Dinner with Chaucer is a good one.
The one where as you got Sel to watch her take drugs.
Yes. At the hotel in it was the bigger Japanese city we went to.
I have no memory of this.
Yeah,
what?
And you were all like, you just do the battle drugs, and then
like as you like to get big.
Yeah, we wanted to work out what those potions do.
Oh yeah, Azu basically had like a mania, right?
Yes, it was a barbarian rage in a bottle or something like that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And Sel's like, you had the best time.
Yes, exactly. That's the one.
I did a smash like a cut to afterwards, and it was just like Mega Juice. That was it.
Mega Juice.
Mega Juice.
Yeah.
Oh, I
forgot. Did you say like, I'm really sorry I broke all the stuff in your room? And they were like, yeah, it happens all the time. You went into the big people room.
God, I forgot about that. I should look like that specific pre-airship chunk. I've forgotten a lot. I might go back and re-listen at some point because there's some blank spots in there.
There's whole chunks where like you were managing so much other business stuff where like you've even said afterwards like I sometimes a blackout and I'm not really sure what happened in an episode.
Oh, I've done that in a recording before where I come to after the episode and I'm just like I don't remember what we did.
Yeah,
It'll come out in the
I think it's a really good show, Alex. You should give it a try.
I don't understand the appeal.
Okay. Follow up in the same vein. Favorite combat episode. Oh, actually, before we do, my favourite chill soundscape is the inn in the Bertie side quest, the Yetis.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeti's
that
claw.
I made and then kept and have occasionally listened to afterwards and just gone, I like that soundscape. That was a nice soundscape.
Also, Alex, I don't understand the next question. Enjoyable combat in Pathfinder?
Yeah, Ben will struggle because he likes all of them. He likes all of them
they're
so
just also
much.
I love this. All my favourites.
I think anything that involves tying him to an NPC and us forgetting about the rope is definitely up there for Ben. He really likes that kind of detail-oriented.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Trying to think, favourite combats.
I loved every fight sequence after Sasha got lethal acrobatics. Just so lovely.
That was. I would never allow you that in a friendly game, but for this one it worked.
The fight with the circus gnomes on the bridge in Paris, where I think I slowly lost all of my clothes.
The ones where you were like, what if it's some people in a trench? Oh, it is. It's some people in a trench. I was so annoyed. I just said the word trench coat and you all were like, oh, it'd be really funny if it's just 3 of them. I was like, damn it.
It's because you said the word, Alex. You said the one time that word comes up. No one ever wears a trench coat if they're not 2 or more guys in it.
I forgot about 3 gnomes in a trench coat.
Just that was good. We're being attacked by Vincent Adultman.
Yeah.
I did like the first time I got to break out a big old wild illusion.
Yeah.
Yes, the big tank.
No, it's just like there's a fucking tank, and then James's immediate reaction is, I want the tank. How do I get the tank? I'd like the tank. It's not a real tank. Oh. Okay, what favorite combats? Any other takers on favorite combats?
Been so many.
I don't like the finale fights. They were just too mathsy. I don't have fond memories of it. I just have memories of going full beautiful mind. Stats!
Yeah, but we level 9. It gets to the point where they just kind of ramp to the point where it's just...
It was all just doing that meme of the person and the equations going...
Yeah. Well, there were 10 passive effects with auras.
Yeah. And the spaces we were moving through were such that there was sometimes we would do all that, we'd do all the maths and then be like, oh no, wait, you're not actually within the aura of that one. And it was like, oh god.
Miserable.
Weirdly, I think for me, the Barrett Monster one is one of my favorites because I saved my sickened effect kept working.
Yeah.
And it was super intense. Huh?
Was it Holy Whispers? Was that the thingy?
Yes, it was Holy Whisper.
Yeah.
That was very good. And then the Zolf's combo.
We finally got it off. Yeah. Because we were talking about that when we leveled up, and we were like, oh, we could do this cool thing, and we actually did the cool thing, which was brilliant.
That's so rare.
Yeah, absolutely. I also, you're right. I really like that because it was just. I mean, I know there were the gimmicks with the gas and stuff, but it's one of the only times just a really scary thing has turned up and just extremely tried to just murder us, and there was no way out.
If I
had to kill it back,
on domestic games that aren't for performance and so on, I have a bit of a reputation for being quite vicious. Where I won't lie, I'll just open it and I'll say, "This is a game that wants to kill you. If you're up for that, I'm gonna run it for you." I'm the kind of person that would run Tomb of Horrors unironically. So as a result, I didn't get to ever cut loose through the whole campaign until that point, because at that point it's like if one of you dies, the story doesn't break.
Yeah.
Whereas for a lot of the others, I had to be a bit more careful. Whereas that one, I was just like, this thing's going to try and kill you, and it's not even going to do the thing of knock you out and then move to the next person. No, it's going to systematically just kill you all, and it's a very different experience. No, there's no magic button to push. It's just going to keep trying to kill you until you kill it, and I like that in a fight, but it doesn't get to happen very often.
Yeah,
I remember feeling I enjoyed the Kew Garden fight because it felt quite characterful. It was one of the early ones where Sasha got to be very good at what she was good at.
Kew Garden's boss?
So there was the big plant monster, but before that there was the swarm. that made things sickened. And so with that, it was quite fun to be able to do the thing of Sasha's extremely good at being lethal, but she's also extremely bad at judging risk and working with others. And so it was really fun to like actually for the first time ever really playing one of these games feel like I knew what I was doing on both the character and the fight side enough to be like, going to make some like combat decisions that are also character decisions that are also whatever. And it's just like, you know, it was one of the first times I felt like really confident doing this kind of thing. I was like, it actually plugs together and it works, and it felt like a really good performance and game. Like, and other people had these like wonderful moments. Some of them like way before, a lot of the time like Hamid with his magic, and like Zol would just be like heal. It's like, that's like very much the character as well as the mechanics. It's like, I got this.
Follow-up question then. What were people's favourite... This is actually an interesting two-parter. What was people's favourite episode to record, and is it different from your favourite episode to listen to? That's interesting. I think episode 100 is actually one of my favourite recordings because Bryn just died. Bryn just died. He just couldn't move. He couldn't breathe after that. That stuck with me. But interestingly, I don't think it comes across in the recording to listen to as much. I think, weirdly enough for me, the ones that I like to listen to are very talky, kind of downbeat, yet the recording ones tend to be the big ta-das.
Yeah.
My favourite episode of RQG to listen to is actually called Campaign Skyjacks, because I made RQG. I don't really have a favourite. Like, you know, as I said earlier, I listen to all of them because I want to like take notes and be like, okay, well, this is how I fucked up and stuff. Really funny that read on Tumblr, someone was like, is Ben having a really bad time? It sounds like he's not enjoying it. I was in the middle of the moving house nightmare, so I wasn't. But I listened back and I was like, Jesus Christ, yeah, fucking hell. You're being paid to do this, Ben. Fucking chill the fuck out. Definitely something I need to work on. But yeah. As for ones to record, like, I don't know. It's all lumps together. It's been so long.
I like the channel crossing to listen to because the soundscaping is good. I think the Squiz submarine works. I think the dramatic beats and the crosscuts to Bertie work nicely. I think as I want to listen to, I think the channel crossing is probably one of my favourites because it holds together very well as an episode. Like I can see that in my head, like I'm watching a TV show. But to record, it was just another episode.
I liked the experience of recording the one where Hamid popped. Because I remember Bryn's scream,
actively sweating,
all of us were like, it was so tense, and it was one of those ones where like we were all present and going to see these dice. Like there's a little bit like the fact that you admitted that you just admitted that you occasionally like pulled back in some of the fights.
I never lied about the dice rolls, but what I would do is if I had a prep and then the thing had started and like that extra special ability hadn't even gone off and you were already dying, I was like, this will just kill everyone. I'm not going to use that special ability. I never lied about a dice roll, but there was a couple of times where it's like, this creature can explode and kill an entire city. I don't think it can. I'm going to put that on the shelf in case they do well.
Fair. I think that the Hamid popping one is one where like we all got the and that like Bryn's relationship to Hamid is, I feel like, particular,
very
where
intense.
Like I was very happy to move on from Sasha, leave and like do another character. Ben just loves ripping up character sheets. Is literally sometimes he just writes character. Actually, that is a weird thing people won't get. You really like creating characters.
I love making characters.
In other games, like he'll just like, I made 3. Which one do you want me to use?
Yeah.
And it's just, I assume because he really loves ripping the character sheet off. And like Helen, I can imagine you like grieving Azu and moving on to another character, but like Bryn cared about Hamid so much. Like, and so if he had actually sacrificed himself like that, we were all realizing how much it meant as a person for him to do that, as well as the character. It was a lot.
He was like just saved by his fire resistance as well. Like it was proper close, wasn't it?
Yeah. The maths was a lot. It was like,
I think the ones I was most nervous about, now I'm just thinking about it, just because I've never spoken, it was the airship stuff. Where I've never actually spoken about it. I don't even think it came up on the Q&As, which is I had a sit-down rework of the campaign structure
for the airship stuff, and I think the performers know this and the fans, it will never come up, because it engaged with the pandemic side a lot more. There was a lot more pandemic content in the original build of this, and it was a lot more engaging with quarantines, and there was a whole, like, you know, navigating between different quarantine zones. What are the ethics of that? You're pursuing a higher goal. Is that a good idea? They were going to be doing a lot more travel on foot, and I genuinely did a sit down and went, I can't. Not only would it be tasteless, it would be not
miserable.
No, that isn't what anyone needs or wants. The need for that predates pandemic. Pre-pandemic, I would have run that in a heartbeat because
it's interesting. You're like, oh, what a fun hypothetical.
Here's the brutal truth. Pre-pandemic, I'd have run it, and you know why? Because I've always had a hang-up about it, and I was like, I think people need to start wrapping their head around this stuff because no one's paying attention. It's a bit bad. And then it happened, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can't run this content. People don't need that. So it converted into, okay, if I do the airship, I can dodge a lot of that. And there's a reason that suddenly all the characters were in a closed system where it's been enough days, and if you can listen to the pivot, because I'm like, enough days have passed so that you don't have to worry about infection, so that we can just deal with other things. And that was an active pivot where there was going to be a lot more to do with that. But it works. I think it's better for it, but it's a very more miserable trudge in the original prep of this as a thing. But yeah, anyway.
Instead, we've got to be miserable in our real lives. Hooray!
As long as someone's miserable somewhere, I don't need them miserable everywhere.
I think one of my favourite episodes to record was one of the very early ones. It's the one where I think it's Moonshine Misery, the one where we're getting drunk.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed that because it was still an early episode, and I was like, okay, this is a good dynamic. I figured out a lot about us and about Azu through that, and I felt like I learned a lot, and it was very, very fun. It was very funny.
Also, actually, not RPG strictly, but the Beowulf thing was like a fever dream recording where we were all just like really hyperactive because like, oh, Helen's here, and she's new. We're all gonna act up, but it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I wasn't including specials because otherwise Beowulf would be up there.
Oh, Beowulf, you were all playing up for company.
It was great.
I had a real. You know what? Actually, I think my favourite was probably Beowulf, and that's not even a canon episode. That was a fun episode. It was just nonsense.
It really was. Look, the thing is, potentially, I only had one shot.
Well, you played us like a fiddle, Helen. So don't worry about it.
You just got the Eminem sort of thing beating in the background, like one shot, one opportunity. Yeah. Oh, you forget me again, Mom. Spaghetti.
Okay, I got a couple more questions in. We got a few minutes left, and I'm gonna do what I do in all recordings when I'm not actually like running a game, which is I'm gonna push it right to the line because I can, and I don't like ending things.
Look, contractual. I'm hitting that red hang up button as soon as we hit.
I can't stop you, but I can speak for you while you're not here.
Shit.
Quick question I can answer, which is: had Grizzop gone to Rome with the party and then not returned to Damascus, what would have happened to Wild? So basically, I'm assuming that's a question of like,
if I'd gone immediately with them instead of staying behind, I'd just gone with the initial round. And
what would have happened to Wild? It had been broadly similar, to be honest. Wild would have just done some background stuff and then turned up after the time gap. I think it would have been Wild turning up after the time gap, not Einstein.
Sure.
But that's the only real difference. That's an easy one. Azu went down twice in the Lads and Blokes fight, and she only needed one encounter to go down as often as Zolf did all campaign. Did that hurt your/Azu's pride?
No, because scars are cool, but
scars are cool.
What did hurt my pride was just the continuous bad rolls that I got, specifically the Shoin fight that I know you built for me to be able to kill him, and I just couldn't do it. Just couldn't. Just over.
That was your fight. Everyone gets one. That was your fight. Did not happen.
I couldn't do it, and I think is that that might be the one where I started asking Ben to tell me what the dice were.
You just like you wouldn't look at them.
Die.
That you rolled a
abysmally.
It was
you
so
absolutely
bad.
Balked that fight. There was just...
It was so bad.
D20 systems are fun and cool and clever, and I really, 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 really love straight probability curves. They're good.
I like them swingy. Swingy as possible.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, then, onto what's written as our final question. I haven't done these in a particular order than just, I think, order submitted or whatever. What's the hardest any of you laughed at something that's been said? As an example, you accidentally shot his legs off and everyone, cracked up. What's the thing that's made you laugh the most as a statement? Lolong is high up there. Lolong is stupid.
I know I've been proper got a couple of times, but I think that I don't know, I can't remember, but I don't think they're like big jokes. I think it's just like a stupid aside that really just gets me.
Yeah. I know.
Yep.
So I know I really got Bryn with camel in the pants.
Yes, you did.
And the other thing that really, and this is a recent one, so people will remember this very well. But it's not even a joke. It was when I said in the Into the Wild episodes that frogs didn't have bones.
Yeah.
I still feel like they don't. It feels wrong that they have bones.
Apparently, we have two high contenders from chat, which is one, the element of surprise.
Oh, yeah.
I very nearly decided to roll with that and put you through the plane of surprise or whatever, just to... I was just like, no, I can't be bothered opening that can of worms. It's not worth it.
I was very proud of physics as when you physically beat up elementals.
Oh, yes!
That's good.
That was...
Everyone's a big fan of Pump Hole as well, which I think is a Ben special.
Well, I didn't laugh at that.
That's a Ben special.
I was deadly serious.
It's deep and dark and important.
Yep.
It needs to be treated very carefully.
I think we're out of time. I think our event just died. We just died.
Oh, Crowdcast was just like, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, is it? It just stopped recording? Oh God, Nico, can you still do something?
If you could chat to people, could you apologise? Crowdcast didn't give a warning. It was just like,
yes,
you're done.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Can I suggest you record an ending and we'll put it on the recording for them to see?
Oh no, this is the ending. This is the ending. Us going, it's ended. What ended?
We got to be in the ending, guys.
Yeah, Nico, if you could get a message to...
Hannah's saying that we need to, Hannah B is saying we needed to wrap up because the cost rises after 2 hours. So apparently this was deliberate.
Oh, so it's a built-in turn-off. Oh, I am terrible at my job. All right, well then, yeah, we should technically we should record for the people who aren't here, which is it ended.
Yeah,
sorry
folks.
Bye.
I'm not competent at my job.
Sensitively.
Oh yeah, we ended on Pump Hole. Oh God.
Absolutely perfect.